Hello everyone and welcome to my video today. This is a follow-up to the light up Fisker emblem that I did for at least two videos now. I did one for the front of the car and one for the rear. However, for the rear of the car, it needs to be red as far as the lit up sections of the emblem, since that's required by law in most states in the United States. So when you're driving your vehicle, any lights out the back have to be red, or at least not white. So this light, I did do a vinyl wrap of 4 layers of the red tint, and that seemed to work pretty well. But here's an alternative solution that I'm working on. And I tried to open this using a heat gun, and it just did not work. I tried tools on it. I could not get it to open a normal way. There is a seam along the edge here, and that is what I did use. I did use an old-fashioned hacksaw along this edge here. So what I did is I slowly cut into it, make sure I didn't go too far deep, and went along the entire edge between the silver and the black portion. So now you're going to see what it looks like on the inside. So if you open this up, it's like a clamshell here, and you can see that there is a section here that was glued, but I could not find a way to separate that. So it's essentially, to be waterproof, this is non-serviceable. And as you can see here, all the sections that are white will allow the light to pass through. And here's the other side. Now this is the side that is the circuit board. And there are a total of 14 LEDs around this ring part. And then on the center, there's 12 LEDs. So a total of 26 LEDs light up the emblem. Now to change all of these from white to red LEDs would be quite a hassle to do. You'd have to remove the circuit board, and you'd have to do some very fine soldering to remove all of these and replace them. So for the normal DIY person, that's probably a little too much to do. So what I am going to suggest is using the tint again, multi-layers of the tint, and I'm going to adhere it to the inside of the lid here. So when it closes, these LEDs will shine through this, but on the exterior, you're still going to see the white. I'm not sure if this is going to work out perfectly. So this will have to be a test, and once I put this together again, I'm going to attach it to the front of the car so at least I can get an electrical connection to it so I can light it up and see what it looks like. But my plan is to install this here and then just temporarily close this up. I did put a marking on the edge here. If you can see those 2 white dots, that allows me to make sure that it is centered, and that's how it was originally connected, so that there won't be any shifting in the cover. So I'll just temporarily put some blue painter's tape around the outside of it to keep it together. So let me do that right now. Here is the tint. I am going to peel away the edge on it. And I am going to get this inside here. Okay, I need to get it inside the lip. There we go. I'm going to start in the center. And I'm just going to use my fingers to push this in. And the goal is to just push it out so that there's no air bubbles. And I made this tint large enough so it goes over the white area here so that none of the white shows through. All right. I'm also going to use the heat gun again, and I'm going to apply some heat around the edge here so that the tint is softened a bit and I can place it around the edges without having any bubbles or areas where it's pulling apart. All right, so I have the tint applied, and now I'm going to close it up. Here's the edge. Just going to apply some tape around the outside to keep it all together. So this is going to be my demo unit. I'm going to now attach this to the power and see what it looks like. Here we have the Fisker Emblem attached to the front of the car. Just for this test, I am going to unlock, and then it should turn on and it should be red. We'll see how red it is. So let me do that right now. And there we go. We have a red Fisker Emblem. I'm quite happy with how this looks. And the nice thing is, when it's off, it has the clear white exterior and also the colors of the emblem showing through, as you can see here. So very cool. Now the tough part is to see if I can replace the rear emblem with this one, because I know the front emblem is actually fairly easy to get a hold of since there's only a bolt holding it in, and you can take the emblem out from the top of the hood. So let me look into that next. All right, I have the lift gate open, and I am going to remove the panel here. We need to be careful for any wiring. There is one wire for this light and another wire for the tailgate power button. So those two we got to keep an eye on, and there's probably disconnects for them, and I'm going to find out right now. Using the plastic pry bar, I am going to loosen up around the edges here. There are a number of clips. If you just get one started, you can start pulling down the rest. All right, here is the issue that I see. If you look at the emblem right here and going underneath and looking up, there's no place where it is showing through. I don't see any bolts or anything holding it in place. It looks like the liftgate here has a two-layer, I guess, structure. This layer here is covering the outside layer, and I cannot find a way of accessing the emblem from the inside. I need to look to see if there's any other way of doing that. So here's a good view inside the area, and it would be up above this metal plate right here, and I just don't see any access to it. The only thing we have right here is the lock mechanism right here, and there is some wiring that goes back in there, especially a harness for that light and also the light for the emblem. But I am not finding any access to that emblem. Oh, that is a bummer. So here's the situation. If we cannot remove this emblem from the car, it's also not feasible to cut open the emblem while it's mounted. If you look at where my trim piece is, this area here is what would need to get cut all around the edge, but it's inset into the metal of the car here, so you just couldn't get anything in there to cut that at that angle without possibly damaging the emblem and the car itself, which is something I do not want to do. Ironically, if we wanted to make a red Fisker emblem for the front of the car, it would be a piece of cake. However, you need to have white instead of red for the front of the car. So, kind of a bummer. I need to keep doing some more research. There may be a way of removing this from the vehicle. I'll have to keep on searching. For the life of me, there's got to be a way, because if this is defective and they need to replace the part, there's got to be a way to release it and replace it. So I figure this video was one step forward, one step back. We still don't have a good solution for making this rear emblem red, besides covering the entire thing with a red tint or spray painting it red. Let me know in the comments section below. Do you have any ideas to help me out with this? I'd greatly appreciate that. And any other questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.